primary motivation for us deciding to redomicile the company to the US purely relates to, we believe, it provides us with the best opportunity to maximize value moving forward. It simplifies our corporate structure, provides ample opportunity to deeper pools of capital in the US, and it removes all barriers to entry for the broader US investment community. It also provides us with the best opportunity to be directly compared next to our peer comparisons in the US, who I firmly believe we're undervalued when comparing next to them. Collectively, the feedback's been really good, and I might answer this in two parts. So for our current shareholders, they understand the upside potential here. They understand our compelling story, our strategy, and the assets that we have that we've continued to develop over time. So they truly believe that the best opportunity for us to maximize our value moving forward is to move to the US. So we've received a great amount of support from our current shareholders. Now on to prospective shareholders. We've built up quite a network in the broader US investment community since listing on the Nasdaq coming up to 2 years ago. However, as compelling as our story has been, there have always been many barriers to entry, which has often stopped many investors from the US market entering into the stock. So now these barriers to entry are now being removed. So there are some very excited prospective investors, and we look forward to seeing some on-market support. We do have a very impressive pipeline. Don't have time to go through its entirety today. However, I will focus on our 3 lead assets. The first one being our psychedelic research program, SIGAP, targeting generalized anxiety disorder. We currently have a phase 2 study underway with 72 patients that is nearing completion, and we expect to be able to release the full clinical trial report in Q1 2024. Second lead asset is IHL 675A, targeting rheumatoid arthritis. We also have a phase 2 study underway for this program with 120 patients across 10 trial sites. We'd expect to be able to share efficacy data and safety data to the market in H2 2024. And to finish with our lead asset, IHL 42X, targeting obstructive sleep apnea. I'm pleased to report we have our IND open and we have commenced a pivotal phase 2, phase 3 clinical trial with 400 patients across 47 trial sites in 6 different countries. We expect the first efficacy data points to be released to the market in H2 2024. So as you can see, across our 3 lead assets, there are some significant milestones that we will be delivering to the market over the next 12 months.
The redomicile won't affect Incanex's clinical trial pipelines at all. Our target has always been FDA approval. Our clinical trial strategy and regulatory strategy has always been defined by FDA guidelines, and that will stay the same. Incannex are developing all of their drug products according to the quality and regulatory standards that be required for any pharmaceutical, cannabinoid, psychedelic, or otherwise. Our drug products are manufactured with the required quality and stability requirements and CGMP standard. All our drug substances, our active pharmaceutical ingredients, are also manufactured according to CGMP standards. The clinical trials are designed so they will meet the regulatory requirements for pharmaceutical products as outlined by the FDA. When we have had interactions with the FDA at pre-IND and IND meetings, the FDA has provided consistent advice that this is the standard we are expected to meet. With our large multi-site clinical trials, such as the upcoming IHL 42X phase 2-3 study, including clinical trial sites outside the United States, allows us to access an increased number of trial sites and participants, which cuts down on our recruitment time and increases the efficiency with which we can run that trial. In the case of smaller trials, such as phase 1 and early stage phase 2 studies, we can run these in Australia, which allows us to access the Australian government R&D tax incentive, which provides 43.5% back on any money we spend on research and development in Australia. There are also instances in other jurisdictions other than the US and Australia where there are clinical trial sites with specific expertise or equipment that could provide an advantage in some of the indications and drugs that Incannex is working with. What excites me is that we aren't part of the cannabis and psychedelics industry. We're taking these molecules and becoming part of the pharmaceutical industry. We're developing these according to the regulatory requirements that will allow us to gain regulatory approval and have these drugs considered along other pharmaceutical products, building patient and physician confidence, providing a meaningful change in the quality of life for millions of patients.